Alright, I think this is working. Hopefully, I don't know, I'll know in a second. As soon as I see evidence on my other monitor that the stream is working, I'll begin actually doing important stuff and not listen to myself talk. Alright, there we go, I see it. So, let me start by thanking everybody who is here for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a really fun little situation here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting by enumerating all of my tasks, as you can see here on my giant text document. I'm going to outline the schedule. I do these in like 4 2-hour blocks with little tiny breaks in between to go, rest my back and my mind. And then I'm going to get started on the design planning. And after I've kind of figured out exactly what this whole thing is going to be, we'll move on toward actual content generation. So, alrighty. So, first thing, what I'm doing right now on my other screen is I'm making just a regular old document style Google Doc. Where I'm going to just kind of throw bullet points at the wall until they start to stick. For whatever reason, organizationally, that's always been the way that I think. I just start writing in a list. That's the way that I've organized my thoughts since I was, 7, 8 years old, and I discovered TextPad on my first computer. So, alright, so we are creating a Google Doc called Adam, because he is the dude this game is for. And ironically, he's actually not watching the stream right now. He is out playing golf, of all the perfect things he could be doing to avoid this. So he's practicing so that when he gets home, he can be really good at this game. It's perfect. And let me know if you guys are seeing any hiccups in the video feed. On my monitor screen, I keep seeing like a grayed out screen and a loading video. So let me know if you guys are seeing that and there's something weird going on. Also, let me know if the volume level of my mic is okay. Alright, so let's get rid of this giant, awful looking text pad. We don't need that. Alright, so we are going to bring Adam the document over here. Toss this guy back onto the other side. So, enumeration of tasks. What am I doing today? I'm going to start by, like I just said, firing bullet points into this design document. I'm going to make some sense of exactly what this project is. And, before I do that, I'll talk that aloud right now. So the way that I see this game going is, as usual, it's going to be my vintage logo that's going to pop up. That's already done, so I've already copied a mostly blank program that only has my logo preloaded in it. I'm going to move on to making a title screen. Title screen is going to be really basic. It's going to describe how you play the game, and you're going to click something, and you're going to get into the game. There's not going to be any options menus or... It's going to be very simple, splash screen and go, because again, limited time project, gotta manage your time and your scope. After I'm done with that, I'm going to get started. The game is a driving range type simulator, so I'm going to need, there's my man Nagatron, woo! So the way it's going to work is I'm going to need a kind of facing forward Adam sprite, and he's going to need to swing his hands like they're attached to a golf club. And then I'm going to need to puppet rig a couple different looking golf clubs to his hands. No worries, man. Take your time. And yeah, I'm still seeing a gray screen on my monitor. Are you guys seeing it okay? Please let me know so that I can make those adjustments now before we get knee deep into things. My connection and my streaming look fine from what I can see in open broadcast software. So I don't know what would be weird if something's weird, but regardless. So we're going to need front view Adam swinging a golf club, and I'm going to need to puppet rig various golf clubs to his hands in the right spot. I'm going to need to be kind of crafty with that because I don't want to have him, kind of like real golf, I don't want him bending over to different heights because, you know, golf clubs are different lengths. That would require more animation on him, and that's already going to be enough of an undertaking that I'm just going to keep him at the exact same height. All the clubs are probably going to be the same size. They're just going to look a little different. Maybe I won't even swap in different club pictures. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge and set it on fire when we come to it. So I need him swinging. I'm going to need him coming in contact with the golf ball. And then the main viewpoint of the game is going to be overhead. So what I'm going to need the ball to do is once his club makes contact with the ball's going to fly in whatever direction you've aimed it. And in order for the ball to fly, what I think I'm going to have the game do is you're going to be hitting the shadow underneath the ball. So you're going to hit that. And then the golf ball itself is going to be relatively positioned onto that shadow. So it's basically going to be following the exact position of that shadow and then going higher than the shadow or back toward the shadow on like a separate little logical loop that governs that. I have no idea if that's going to work. I don't know if that's the most effective way to do this, but that's what I'm going to attempt first. So basically I'm going to need to, the actual golf ball hitting in physics, the first thing I'm going to do is just launch a shadow. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the actual golf ball to that shadow. And then after that, I'm going to start working in the actual physics side of it. How do I aim the stupid ball? You know, how does wind affect what the ball is doing? All that stuff. I have no clue how that's going to work or how difficult it's going to be, but whatever. We'll give it a shot. This is going to be rather ambitious because this is a whole bunch of things that I have not done before. So this should be fun. So let's start firing out some bullet points. Let's get some of this stuff down, right? We've already got a logo screen, so that is done. We are going to need a title screen, and let's just kind of plan out what's going to be in that, right? We can have our front view Adam on there, and we'll add that later. We're going to have some big old text, which is going to be the name of the game, which is Murderatti Golf, because his name is Adam Barati, and there's going to be a murder mode where you slay random golfers walking down the driving range. So Murderatti Golf, that's the name of the game. We're going to get that in there. And we're going to need to explain what you do to play the game. And in terms of the actual golf ball hitting part of the process, I think the way that's going to work is I'm going to do it kind of old school golf back in the day style, which is you hit a button once to start the little arrow moving forward. You hit it again to govern the maximum or the power of your shot, and then you have to time it one more time right back where you started, and however far from that starting point you are dictates how off your shot is. Do whatever, Hot Shots Golf's awesome. It's such a masculine golf game. I just don't like it because Hot Shots Golf doesn't have like a Tiger Woods super womanizing simulator, so until they add that in there, I'm not interested. So if Hot Shots Golf, if you're watching right now, which you're not because there are 13 people, please add a Tiger Woods womanizing garbage mode to your next game, and I will totally buy it because that's what I'm about. So let's get back. Oops, I'm on the wrong mouse. Look at me go. So we're going to, back to the title screen, we're going to explain what you do to play the game. And then, when you hit a button, and it's going to be the same button that I'm going to use to do the, there we go, I like that. It's good to know that I've got at least one customer. I'm going to make some revenue this year. By the way, everybody who doesn't know, my man Dynamite Justice right there, I worked with that dude for 2 years at my previous company. Guy is a borderline genius. He's a great composer, and he's a fantastic game designer. So, good man right there. Dynamite Justice, you're the man. So when you hit a button, you're going to get through the title screen, and you're going to hit the game. There's going to be a little bit of like a time delay, play a sound effect before I actually kick you to the next screen kind of moment. So when you hit a button, move to game screen. And I think all I'm going to need to make this game work is logo screen, into title screen, into game screen. Game screen, yeah, mad love. Dude, the heart wouldn't be purple if it wasn't mad. The game screen itself should handle every bit of actual gameplay logic. That's where I'm going to be loading up non-title music. That's where I'm going to be loading up sound effects. When you finish the game, it's not going to kick you to like a finish screen or anything like that. So yeah, game screen is going to be the bread and butter of the entire game experience. So let's just kind of think through how this is going to work, right? So the game screen is going to hit, and you are going to be greeted with probably a host of little random options. I don't know if I'm going to mouse control those or not, but you're going to need to be able to select a club. And I'm probably going to do it really simply. I'm probably going to do like driver, iron, wedge. Just something super simple like that. So I'm just basically saying you hit it far and it's harder to hit it accurately. You don't hit it as far, accuracy is easier. You hit it a pretty short distance and it's way easier to be accurate. So you're going to be able to select a club. You're going to be able to aim your shot. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that yet. I don't know if I'm going to have you click a position on the overhead course and the shots are going to kind of hone to that position. Yeah, my man Smokey. What up, Smokey? That's the Smokey song, by the way. That'll be on the EP that I drop at the end of this. As this goes, I will be singing more and more super random pointless crap, so enjoy yourselves, people. So you're going to be able to aim your shot. I might do that with direction pad keys as well. I might do like a little rotate an arrow based on the direction keys. Ooh, in fact, I could do something like when you first hit the arrow, it'll move it like one notch, and then after a little while, I don't think I'm going to do putting. I'm not going to do putting because that would be a whole different set of physics, and I know how quickly I work, and I just don't think there will be time to do anything like that in an 8-hour project, especially with the music and graphics and all that needed. Again, we'll see toward the end. I mean, if it's 7 hours and I've got a fully functional driving range and hitting people on the driving range sim, I might take a shot at a putting mode. We'll see. So, but yeah, I don't want to overpromise anything right now because the last two, I've promised a mode that wasn't able to make it into the game because by 7 hours and 55 minutes, I was frantically trying to get enemies to spawn correctly and then publish the game. So, trying to keep the scope as manageable as possible on this one. So you can be able to aim your shot. And once you've done any, I think I'm going to just default you to driver, and I'm going to default you to hitting right down the range. So once you've done those two things, I think you're ready to hit your shot. So then there's going to be hit your shot. And that's going to be, let's say spacebar for right now. So spacebar starts gauge, then second spacebar governs shot power, and then third spacebar governs accuracy. And again, anyone who's played, I mean, even stuff as far back as like NES golf and that kind of thing, pretty much all golf games have worked this way since the beginning of time until they started doing the Wii actually swinging stuff. You hit space, thing moves, you hit space again, thing moves back, you hit space right where you started, and you hit a line drive super far, and you're amazing. So that's going to be your little shot hitting kind of stuff. So, there are going to be 3 game modes, and again, this organization kind of sucks. I'm jumping all over the place here, but whatever. So there's going to be 3 game modes, right? 3 game modes. There's going to be good old driving. And driving has the R before the I. I forgot that spelling is a real thing. So we're going to have just regular old driving mode, which is hit it in whatever direction you want. It's basically just practice seeing how far you can hit it and how it works. Oh shit, that actually reminds me. We're going to need wind too. Maybe. And if wind sucks, we're going to drop wind, because that's the thing that I'm the most confused about how to tie into things. Wind and, oops, I missed my central aim, now my shot's going to pull to one of the 2 sides. Those are the 2 things I'm the most nervous about doing, so I don't know how that's going to work. So we're going to have missed accuracy equals shot hooks or slices, and I have no idea how to do that yet. And then we're going to have wind, and we'll do that kind of as an arrow indicator somewhere, I think, which will basically be, depending on the length of the arrow and the direction the arrow is pointing, that's going to slightly affect where your shot goes. And of course, it will affect your shot less, assuming you're hitting it a short distance. So again, all that's going to be a little bit complicated. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to be tying numbers into, but again, that's the whole fun of this kind of thing. You learn at a rapid clip. So also going to be wind resistance, and I'm going to say a distance. That's a word. So it's either going to resist where your shot's going, or it's going to add to your distance. So adiastance, that's a new word, by the way. Poor, what's the dictionary dude? I don't know. He's turning over in his grave right now, given what I'm doing to the English language. So we're going to have good old driving. We're going to have target practice. And if any of you have ever been to Top Golf or any of those kind of places, the way that target practice is going to work is I'm basically going to give you like a little 10-shot system, and it's going to be like hit 4 shots to this close-up, or maybe like 2 shots to the close-up target on the left, 2 shots to the close-up target on the right, 2 shots to do something kind of like that, where I'm basically every couple shots you're going to hit to different distances, and then the last ones will be like a max length drive to hit to the right spots. So that'll be your regular target practice mode, and then I'll have some kind of a point system in there to govern how you're doing. And then what? Oh, and then we're going to have our super amazing murder mode. And murder mode, in terms of programmatically, is just going to be target practice with moving targets. So that's how that's going to work. So you're going to have slow moving, not quite as slow moving, and decent speed moving, I don't know, little fat golfer people walking down the course. And basically, I think I'm going to need to speed up the actual shot per shot clip there as well, so you can just be launching balls all over the place. And basically, as you hit people, that will govern your point score or whatever. And if they make it all the way to you, I don't know, maybe I'll game over you, maybe I'll take some of your points away, something like that. So that, I mean, the long and the short of it, that's the central loop to the game. Now I'm going to need to keep track of score. Oh, in fact, I should do that under the properly nested bullet points over here. So for target practice, I'm going to need a scoring system of some sort, and let's just kind of figure out what that is real quick. I might do that on like a pixel. Is it not loading for you? Oh, damn. I'm wondering what's up with that, because I'm actually on my, I mean, again, I'm doing streaming and loading on the same internet connection right now. But yeah, mine's saying failed to load video as well. I'm wondering how many people are seeing that. I'm gonna reload on my monitor computer real quick and see if anything happens, because I'm assuming this is just because I'm overtaxing my connection a little bit. But if other people are having trouble with the stream, that's not good. But anyway, so scoring system. Let's say if you're, well, we're going to call it a bullseye, which will just be super close to where the target is. And that'll be, oh, let's say 10 points. We're going to have near, and that'll be 5 points. And the way I think I'm going to do that is I'm going to nest some kind of circle or something like that over each target. And so if you're actually, like the target itself will be, I don't know, 5-6 pixels, something like that. If the ball stops on that target, you get crazy points. If the ball stops on that near circle, you're going to get 5 points. And I might do a second circle that's close but no cigar, and that'll just be 1 point. That'll just do something for you, maybe 2, I don't know. And then, of course, anywhere else you hit, it's a whole lot of nothing. So that'll be... I mean, I'm on Wi-Fi right now and I'm broadcasting, but again, I'm 18 light years from being able to plug in right now. And dude, the guy who installed my cable stole my fucking little Cat 5 cables. I swear to God, that dude pulled 2 Cat 5 cables out of my modem that I just put in and took them home with him. I think he thought he hooked them up for a test or something, but I literally watched as the dude stole my shit and left my house. I didn't say anything because I'm a wuss, but whatever. So I am not plugged in right now either, but I'm monitoring my output, and right now my upload seems okay, and I'm seeing 1200 kilobits a second, and I'm in the green. So hopefully I'm good. So scoring system for target practice is going to be relatively straightforward. I think I'm just going to do close, little circle, larger circle, and then if you're anywhere outside of all of those circles, you don't get any points. For murder mode, it's going to be much easier. You either, let's do the same thing here. You're either going to hit the dude. Oh, in fact, damn, we can do different. So we're going to have we're going to have to change our NPCs, right? We're going to have our basic, we're going to have our basic fat dude, right? He's going to be super heavy, and he's going to be moving at whatever speed he's going to be moving. And so you're going to hit fat dude, and fat dude is 1 point. Because fat dude's easy. He's slow moving, and he's a big old target. We're going to have Golf Dad. And Golf Dad is in a little bit better shape, so he's going to be a little bit smaller, and he's going to work a little bit faster. Yeah, I think I'm all right. Again, in the future, I've done this a couple times, and it's worked in the past, but in the future, I want to be able to stream at 1080p and not just 720p, which I'm doing now. And I think in order to really pull that off, I'm going to need to go ahead and I'm going to need a hardwire, and I might need to upgrade my connection too, because Uverse has been kind of boning me on what I'm getting versus what I'm paying for. Again, nothing could ever be worse than Time Warner cable, so I shouldn't talk too much shit, but Uverse isn't the greatest. So we're going to have Golf Dad, right? And Golf Dad is going to be a little bit skinnier than Fat Dude, and he's going to move a little faster. So we'll call him 5 points. And then we are going to have Skinny Lady. And Skinny Lady is super small, and she moves real fast. So if you hit her, you get 10 points. By the way, I'm not advertising hitting women in real life. I'm advertising hitting tiny digitized women with golf balls under the umbrella of this game. So please don't get offended by what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make a fun game here, people. So that's the scoring system for murder mode. I think 3 different NPCs will work. That actually kind of puts it nicely in line with the other 2 games I've done, because Gloving Lawyer had 3 different lawyer varieties that all kind of worked in the same way, and World of Nagatanks had 3 different tank types that were escalatingly difficult. So I think this sets of 3 thing is the right way to do it. I'm advertising hitting. Of course, dude, hitting men is totally legal. You can do that whenever you want. I go outside and hit like 6 dudes a day just to, get my heart rate up. So we got so I think we got a pretty decent run of stuff to do here. Once you finish one of these 2 games, I'm going to be tabulating these points somewhere. I'm going to need to pop some kind of window and move those tabulations into the foreground and format them correctly. But that's easy. So score window formatting upon game, upon game complete, or game over, assuming that event exists. I don't know if it will, but I'm toying with the idea of, I'm toying with the idea that workout of on the murder mode, if people make it all the way to like the line where you're hitting from, you're going to lose. But again, I don't necessarily know if I want to do that. I might just deduct points so that you can just kind of keep playing the game and it doesn't kick you back. Again, I'm not selling this. There's not going to be super intense competition, so I don't need to go too hardcore with any of that. So for right now, we are going to call my little bulleted list here done. So I'm going to toss that onto my other screen, and we're just going to get started. We're going to jump into it here. So, oh, and I forgot to outline my schedule. First 2 hours, what I just did, just happened, so I don't need to outline that anymore, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just throw a title screen in there so it's done. I tend to just MS Paint some fonts around and copy paste them in there, all easy style. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Once I've got a little proto title screen in there with a little bit of direction, I'm probably going to start making artwork, because the game is so minimum spec that it's actually kind of a waste of a step to gray box or do any of those more typical design flows, because the art that I'm making doesn't take much longer than a gray box. Adam Esports Edition. That's weird. I just got a ban prompt for you. I wonder why that came up. That's cool. Well, I could totally ban Real Gamer News right now. I feel pretty powerful. But yeah, so I'm going to start making the art. I'm going to get the some tiles together so that I can set up the golf course on the overhead side. I'm going to need to start setting up some sprites. I'm going to do all that stuff. So most of the beginning is probably just going to be title screen and getting the pieces of art set up. I think that block 2, I'm going to jump into the music because I love doing the music. So as of 3 p.m., and I'm going to block out about 2 hours for that, I'm going to be remixing the appropriate music for the game and getting that whole thing done. I'm not that mean. Getting that whole thing done. Block 3 is really when I'm going to start getting into the nuts and bolts of programming this thing. I'm probably still going to have a little bit more art that I forgot to do. That's when I'm going to start getting, let's figure out how to make the indicator work. Let's figure out how to make the shot work correctly, both physics side and the ball looks kind of normal side. Let me think what else during block 3. Honestly, given how long those kind of things tend to take, that'll probably be the majority of block 3. And the final stretch is, of course, going to be all the polish that I can possibly put into the thing, making sure the scores are properly tabulated, the 10 minutes or whatever I'm going to have left of QA to try to make the game function as well as it possibly can, all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's open up our good friend Multimedia Fusion Developer 2.0, which is kind of a misnomer because I think that it's technically 2.1. And actually, on a related topic, Multimedia Fusion 2.5 came out recently, and it's on Steam, and it looks amazing. I am not ready to upgrade to it yet, but oh man, I'm excited. So let's find Atom Game, which I set up a little easy, just the logo kind of screen, right? So if we look at what we got right now, I'm just going to run the program the second after I loaded it. We got my Vintage Games logo, and that's it, and it just kind of loops. So that's the only thing I'm starting with at all right now. I'm starting with the Vintage logo itself, and let's zoom in on this thing. I'm starting with the Vintage logo, and I'm starting with my kind of old school 8-bit looking font that I made myself. That's the canvas that I always start with. I also, of course, have, I've already decided what the screen resolution is, what the refresh rate is, all the random little things that I would be kind of figuring out as I went had I not done a couple of these games before. So I just knocked all that out ahead of time. So let's start making a title screen. Let's do this thing. So I'm going to pop open my good friend MS Paint because I don't need technology. I've been using the same crappy stuff since I was a little kid. The size of these screens are, it's Game Boy Advance resolution, so it's 240 by 160. Oops. And in addition to the fact that it's Game Boy Advance resolution, which I played a lot of games on that, it's Super Nintendo-y, but a little more widescreen than their 256 by 256 was. It also is a quarter of the dimensions of the non-Retina iPhone. It was half the dimensions of the original iPhone. It makes a very nice scalar resolution for all things, and it makes it look appropriately 8-bit, old school, what have you. And I shouldn't be using the term 8-bit because I'm using way too many colors for it. So this is in no way, shape, or form 8-bit. It's just old and retro. So let's throw some fonts onto this thing, and let's get a crappy little proto title done, right? So we are going to find some super... I always use Impact. I'm bored of Impact. Let's find something cooler. Hey, there's my font. Neat. We can do Fix and Sys, go super old school. Let's do Arial, man. Everyone forgot about Arial. Let's bring it back. So we're going to have... Oh, that's huge. Let's shrink that bad boy. All right, so we're going to have... And our game title is Murderatti Golf, because it stars Adam Murderatti and he murders people while playing golf. So there we go. So, Murderatti Golf. I'm going to put that way on the side because that is just so stylistic it hurts. And then that's kind of going to be the area for side view or facing the course Adam, and then we'll have our minor explanation of how the game works and our little press whatever button to start down there. So let's just take that on over to Actualityville. I don't even need to save it.